Good day, it's Mike from Flex Radio, and this video is quickly going to go over setting up WSJT on a Flex 6000 radio with our version 2 software. We're going to focus on the CAT setup, which is how you control frequency. We're going to focus on the audio setup, which is how you hear, and that's about it. There are other features of WSJT that can be covered in maybe a future video on how to configure JT Alert and logging programs and such, but we just want to get you up and running. So we're going to start with WSJT, and I want you to ensure you download the latest version. That's 1.9 or higher. And the reason we want 1.9 is it fixes some issues with Flex Cat control. Under File, you'll see the settings, which of course doesn't pop up in my recording window. And look carefully at what we've got here. We've selected the Flex 6000 series radio. The network server is 127.0.0.1. What IP address is that? Well, that's actually called localhost, or just the PC you're using. And it comes up with a default port of 5002. But we're going to change that and use 5003 so that we don't conflict with DD-util. So, wow, how does that configure? How does that talk to the radio, you're probably asking yourself. If we look at SmartSDR Cat, we're connected to my 6600, and we're going to add a port for this to use. And it's a TCP port. Remember I said 5003? 5003, that has to match. It's CAT, which is for CAT control, obviously, and CAT being frequency, and we're going to save that, and we can see it down here. So now that we've done that, we'll do a test CAT, and that will come up green. And the green means we're communicating with the radio for setting frequency. Now the other thing we want to set up is the push to talk. In my radio, we've got COM8. We're going to edit that. We'll see that there's the COM8. That COM8 is the value you're going to put into here after you create it. So we'll back up a bit. We need to create a push-to-talk port, push-to-talk, serial, flex VSP. It will fill in this COM number. This is related to VFO slice A, and this all is about dealing with the slice A slice only, no other slice. This will only work on A slice, alpha slice. RTS means request to send, and it's a COM port value level, actually. There's a data terminal ready and request to send that's left over from old RS-232 days. And active low, that means that when you push to talk, it goes low, and that's when we want to go into transmit. And it's going to auto switch slice. Auto switch means if this version of WSJT goes into transmit, that it's going to make this slice the active slice and the active transmit. So we'll hit save on that. And if we test push to talk, COM8, remember COM8 equals this COM8, and it goes red, and we can hear our radio click. So we've gone into transmit. We haven't sent anything, but we've gone into transmit. Okay, so the next thing is audio. So you've seen the other program called DAX. And there is DAX. Now we have to hear audio from the radio, and we have to send audio from the radio, or from WSJT to the radio when we're in transmit mode. So our input is DAX audio RX1. And if we pop that open, we see a whole ton of these, so look carefully, but it's DAX audio RX1. Don't make the mistake of selecting DAX, there'll be an IQ one. That is the incorrect one. We want the RX1. So what is that? I have to bring DAX back up here. That is, we'll connect here. That is this slice A. And how did the one in the slice A get related? Well, that's from SmartSDR. And this is another thing you want to check in slice alpha. See here under, if you don't see this and you're looking at just you've not opened the box, we click that down, and that's that channel 1. So all these are related. DAX channel 1, which means send audio from this receiver, slice A, out DAX, channel 1, and we'll get rid of that. And that's this same audio here, DAX channel 1, and that's this input, DAX channel 1. So you might want to play that back if I've lost you. But we want to make sure that all those DAX things line up. In this case, we're going to use channel 1. You can use channel 2, 3, or 4 if you have them, but we'll keep this simple by dealing with slice alpha. Now, what about transmitting? We've got our CAT set up. We've got our push to talk set up. Here's our DAX audio output, and it says DAX audio TX. That's this TX stream, and it does say off, but let's not worry about it right now. And how do we find that? We drop it down, and this is DAX audio TX. There's only one in your sound cards because we can only transmit at any given time on one transmitter, one slice rather. So we're almost done. So that works. We'll bring this back over here so you can see it. And the last thing you have to do is turn, we're in alpha. I'm going to reinforce a few things. Our red flag, TX flag, is active in red. And we want to turn this on. This blue box means receive because it's in the mic area, the transmit audio. And you'll see now when actually we'll put that back so you can see it. And we bring DAX back up. Once I turn that DAX on, we'll see, hey, it's streaming. And we're saying, it's connected to my Flex 6600 name, Shack. It's a pretty obvious name. An IP address, there's my IP address. This channel has been enabled. If I turn that off, and we bring DAX back up, you'll see now that DAX is back off. So if you see that that's off, let me move this up so you can see the pop-up. Hopefully you can read it. DAX is not selected for transmit. So how do you solve that? You turn it on here. And you'll see now that we're streaming. All right. That's all done. Let's go back to WSJT. So we've got the audio set up. We've got the radio set up. Remember, we changed the port. The general stuff is all your personal information. We'll say OK. And I've got this on 40 meters right now. It's middle of the day, so it's pretty quiet. But so how do I know it works? So let's do a couple of things here. We're going to make sure you have the right antenna on. And now I'm going to change bands. Let's go. Let's just go way up to 10 meters, so we're not really bothering anybody. But the way the band's been lately, look at that, there's signals on 10. I do need to tune this antenna and make sure I'm on the right antenna, antenna 1. I'll turn my tuner on, so that might take a moment to tune because it's never tuned up here. And that's probably the first time I've been here. So we're all set up. If we hit this tune button right here, we'll see that my SWR is a little high, so I won't. This is not an antenna I use that often, but we'll see that this went red. We'll see RF power out here, and if we had DAX running, let me bring DAX into view, and then followed by WSJT, so we can see them both. And a little window magic here. When I go tune, I'm going to just turn my RF gain way down here. And bring back DAX control so you can see it. We'll do tune. And you'll see that I have mic audio here. DAX is selected there. And if I give it a bit of RF, you'll see that my SWR jumped way up because it didn't correctly tune, but that's okay. So that's how we do it. That's your basic setup for WSJT, and using 2.28 or greater, version 2 SmartSDR, and that should get you on the air and listening. So key things are: pick your audio channels, your in and outs, pick your push to talk, as we discussed. You can test things as well. And by the way, we're still in transmit, so we'll kill that. And I wasn't sending anything out, and that should get you going. So I hope that helps you out. It's Mike, VA3MW. Take care.